Crew Pros, your single source for high-quality, affordable home services. If you are remodeling, repairing, or replacing, Crew Pros are the professionals that can do the job no matter the size. If you are thinking of remodeling your kitchen or bath, needing a new HVAC system, plumbing repairs, flooring, or a complete roof replacement, call Crew Pros. Crew Pros, proud sponsor of the Grizz 901 podcast.
Memphis. Nothing but Memphis. Everywhere we go, it's Memphis. Memphis, Tennessee, the beautiful land in the world.
And I'm thankful for this guy who tweeted and said, I don't have that fire in my eye no more. That game right there was for him. That's what I do. I prove people wrong each and every night, and that's for him right there.
Hi, this is Tom Izzo at Michigan State, and you're listening to Grizz 901.
What up, Grizz Nation, and welcome to our first post-game show here with Grizz 901. I am hearing myself all in my ears. I don't know what is going on. We've had some technical difficulties getting started a little bit later than we thought, but we are presented by Zach Jaworski's Farm, where they treat you like family, and man, we are just lagging tonight. But hey, we're going to be here probably for the next 30 to 45 minutes, and we're going to make sure we have a little bit of post-game kind of celebration a little bit. So with that being said, Grizzlies win 121-110. So let's get it going.
For the first time, it's going down history, baby. New 3-6 Mafia.
Little 3-6 in the house. Hey, listen. Drinking tonight. All right, them Grizzlies. 121. What, did you not good?
This has been such a show already, even before we got on. I'm doing what I can. That's all.
All right, so let's get into it. Grizzlies win 121-110. Obviously, we're gonna hit the very thing in the very beginning. Ja is out, right? It did the ankle didn't turn over. Let's just looking at the ankle, it didn't turn. So I think we're okay. High ankle sprain, 4 to 6 weeks. He's not going to be out for forever. So let's get that out. But it does suck. But I don't want to run the parade. Let's have a good time. Let's go through the box score. And today we have with us Luke and Nate. I am Daniel, and we're going to lead you through this and kind of get you through the post-game show. So if you're coming over from Spaces Grizzlies, thank you. If you're hearing this on the podcast, thank you as well. We're going to make sure we're doing these more often because, one, I think it's more fun, especially after a win. We haven't done one after a loss, which probably will suck. But we're going to be here anyway, so why not? Let's get going. But Nate's turned up tonight. We finally got his audio working, thankfully.
Yeah.
Let's go
Trying
through
to be quiet.
let's go through the OKC real quick. Man, dude, they have some. Is it the Grizzlies or is it Oklahoma City that has like the shooters? Because we suck at guarding the three. It's atrocious.
It's a little bit of both. They have some players. They have some guys that can knock down shots, but it's not. If there's a team it's easy to knock shots down against, it's the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Jalen
Williams,
they shot what, 32% from three? Is that what they shot?
Yeah, 32, which isn't bad, honestly. 32% isn't crazy because the Grizzlies shot 35.9 from three. It's just the fact that it seems like every time they were shooting, it was going in. Looking at the box score, Jalen Williams, I think is he the good Jalen Williams? That's right.
You mean
good one.
Was it Santa Monica? Where was he? Not Santa Monica. Santa Clara. I was like I wish I was in Santa Monica. Yeah, Santa Clara. Not Arkansas. Not Arkansas, Jalen Williams.
Oh my God, your audio is atrocious. All right, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 of 5 from 3. Good game out of him. Poku turned his ankle, didn't return. He was 2 of 2 from deep, which was nice. He did put in for 10 points. Then you look at Dort. He was a non-factor the entire night. Dort just looked like bad words. SGA, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Who do you let's go to you, Luke. Who do you actually attribute that to? Because that's the worst game he's had pretty much. I think it's all season.
No, it is. I mean, I was going to feature him later on on the No Bluffing podcast, I was going to bring him up about how well he's been playing, but I think that I attribute that to Dylan, man. I mean, Dylan, I don't want to talk about how good and or bad Dylan shot the ball tonight, but I think his defense on Shea, I think everybody's defense on Shea was pretty good. I just didn't think that they weren't going to let him beat us tonight. I think that was one thing they tuned into.
Yeah, that was the game plan. Is they tried to double, triple team Shea to make sure he didn't get off. That was the biggest thing. You can't let Shea beat you. And if Poku wants to hit 10 threes, then effing let Poku hit 10 threes. Who cares? Who cares?
I would care if Poku hit 10 threes.
I don't. Let him shoot. Let Dort shoot. Dort sucks.
In all seriousness, I thought they had a really good game plan. I thought it was not just Dylan that did really well. It was a lot of team defense because they were not going to let him get shots off from deep, which he doesn't love to shoot from deep, but they also did a good job of collapsing and making him dish it to somebody else. So I thought they did a pretty good job of that tonight. It was good defense by Dylan. By the way, we should just hang on that last shot. We shouldn't think about all his other shots. But they did a good job team defense as well, keeping him contained tonight.
They did. It was the worst game that we've seen out of SGA, so it was nice for the Grizzlies to actually look like they look good defensively for the most part. So I'm going to give it to that. It was scheme. It really was. And so shout out to Taylor Jenkins. I think he's still employed by the Grizzlies. Last game he got fired, right? I think we hired Ron Staley. I'm not sure. All right, let's go through it. Shout out Spacers. That was some wild S. Josh Giddey, 20 points, 11 assists. Ryan, our other co-host here. Ryan actually, first thing I think I woke up to his text. It wasn't like, "Hey, you up?" It was like, "Hey, Josh Giddey double is what I got this morning," and it was awesome. You know what I did? I said, "There is no effing way Josh Giddey's getting a double. He has not had much like doing anything good as of lately." And my God, I got another text late at night with a fire emoji. Josh Giddey double. So shout out Ryan. I'll give him his.
I didn't know he was
props.
that big, man. He's a big dude, Josh Giddey.
Huge.
He's big. I don't know. It was like I was surprised by how big he was and by how big Z was. Z seemed bigger to me in the post-game interview by he seemed as tall as Jaren.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
That's what she said. All right, so Giddey had 20 points, 11 assists, 6 rebounds. Shout out to being a little bit bigger than you thought. A good game out of Giddey. Like I think. Sorry, it's late. I think Giddey had a good game. But I did say, and my comments back to Ryan was, that is the quietest 11 assist game I think I've ever seen. He was doing a little bit of something, but there was nothing that he did that, my God, was just so amazing. Like there was nothing. So it was. It is
good,
what it is.
but it wasn't like incredible. It wouldn't knock your socks off, but it was good, man. Listen, I think he's going to be a player. In all seriousness.
Yeah. I think he's fine. I think he'll be good. And we'll see. But Giddey, he's shown that he can be good, but he can't shoot from the outside. And so really he has to be the facilitator. He has to. Their bench, JRE, Jeremiah Robinson Earl was fine. He did contribute 14 and 7. So that's a good game out of him, but it wasn't like a great game. Nobody did anything to really swing the power, swing the mojo in the game. So enough of the OKC Thunder. Let's get to the Grizzlies. Let's start off with Tripp. Player of the game by far, 25 and 12. Too bad your camera is not on mirrored, and so we had a 31, a backwards 3-1. It was cool. Sorry. Plus 9, which was funny because you look at the other guys and it's like Dylan Brooks is a plus 19. Okay, let's just be honest. Plus minus lies sometimes. 25.
Hold up. The Dylan disgrace is not going to fly tonight. We are far too gone already. No chance. Yeah, my audio is probably terrible. But Dylan has the best plus minus on the team this season. I'm going to get my mic as far away from my mouth as possible to try and make it as nice as I can. Dylan has the highest plus minus on the team this year, the entire season. That number's not lying. When he's on the court, the Grizzlies are better.
Okay. That's it. Luke?
Stamp.
Do you agree?
Stamp.
I disagree completely.
What, disagree with the when he's on the floor, the Grizzlies are better, or disagree with trips plus minus?
Both.
So I think the Grizzlies defense is better when Dylan is on the floor. I do not think our offense is better. I think Jaren tonight. I think your statement is right about plus or minus line based on this tonight, because Jaw had the lowest plus minus of the starters, and we know that isn't accurate. Who had the set? I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I was about to say
Dylan was 6 of 20 from the field. 6 of 20.
God, he sucks.
That's really not great.
Yeah, that's
You know
pretty
who we
bad.
should? You know what we should do is package David Roddy and Dylan Brooks and get somebody good. All right, let's keep moving it.
He's coming
Dylan,
at you, Nate.
Dylan Brooks, 16 points. He had 3 rebounds. I guess they just fell right into his lap. He did have 5 assists, which is good. He was a whopping plus 19. I think his plus 19 was one less than his shots he took, which was nice. Steven Adams. All right, biggest disappointment of the night. Steven Adams. All right, he had 5 rebounds in the first, I think it was 8 minutes that he played in the first quarter. He had 2 more rebounds the rest of the game. He looked out of it. Anybody else see anything with him that just looked weird and crazy? Because he looked like he was sluggish. He looked like he was unmotivated. Like he was not assertive as he was in the very beginning of the game.
I agree. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you what caused it, but I've been pretty irritated about his minutes in general because I think the Grizzlies are way better with him on the floor. But
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, too. His minutes have been weird lately.
yeah, it wasn't. He didn't look right. Something was just off where he wasn't assertive. Like everybody else was getting the rebound. He did some good boxing out, and that's why some guys got some rebounds he could have gotten, but he wasn't going for him. Maybe it was just one of those nights he just was in a funk or something, but it was weird.
He had a lot of potential to get rebounds, but the problem is he was sitting there and then Conchar or Aldama just comes out of nowhere because they were trying. That was my issue though. He was not leaving his feet for a rebound. He was not going after a loose ball. It looked weird. I don't know.
No, I think Jitty watched the news and heard everyone on Twitter say that he needed to take more shots and needed to do more because, I mean, he shot, what? He was 5 of 7 from 3 tonight. That's awesome.
Yeah.
A lot more than he'd been shooting.
I don't know. I don't know if that's sustainable for him, but if he can just do close to that, if he can do 4, if he can make 4 threes, that's enough, I would think, to tide us over until we get Bane.
3 is great.
Yeah.
3 for 6, fine. 3 for 5, great. 4 for 6, 4 for 7, fine. Like any of that is fine. 3 3-pointers from Jitty a night would be awesome. It would be amazing. All right, let's keep going. Ja obviously got hurt. One thing I will point out that he did go 9 of 10 on the free throw line, which has been a bugaboo for the entire Grizzlies team. But he had 19 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds. Got hurt. He was 3 rebounds away from a triple double, which I had money on, which would have been nice. A little cash money, a little lunch money. He played well. We'll talk about him obviously a ton. But weirdly enough, 5 of 20. 5 of 20. I don't know what it was. He didn't look right. Not look right. Their stuff wasn't falling. So I don't know what it was.
It honestly seemed like everybody besides Tripp was a little bit off tonight. And obviously Conchar. Conchar played really well. But everybody just seemed like they weren't quite themselves. I guess when I say everybody, the guys who are sort of your main contributors, like Brandon, BC usually kills the Thunder. And it's sort of one of those games where he can because they don't have any inside protection. He didn't do much tonight. He played fine, but it wasn't like he did anything too crazy and went off. Ja just was missing stuff he makes in his sleep. Steve-O seemed a little bit slow. So
Tyus played better.
Tyus did play better. I was going to get to that. It was nice to see him get back into the paint. The last game, all he took was threes against the Pelicans. And that's just not him. And so to see him get back inside was really, really good. But Yeah, Chris saying the Grizz aren't used to having 2 nights of rest. Yeah, it was that could definitely have played a part in it because they just seemed off. I just saw his other comments too. I care, Chris.
Nobody cares, Nate. Nobody cares.
We've
All
got to
right.
figure out the minutes with the rookies, though. Like we got to figure out what we're doing.
Yeah. I
One,
listen,
if he's
I
going to play
agree.
both, if he's not going to play either.
Well, I think you're playing both guys right now because it makes the most sense. Who else are you going to play? Like, you have to have 10 players.
I don't want Tillman playing.
No, Tillman is garbage. All right, so last starter, 19 points for Jitty. Little double-double, 19 and 10. Not bad. Good night out of him. 5 of 7 from deep. Great night out of him. All right, so let's get into the bench unit. Anybody stand out to you? Aldama had 15 points, 7 rebounds. We had Tyus Jones for 13 points and 5 assists. They played fine. Everybody else played okay. And we'll get into talking about the rookies next, Luke. But anything on the bench unit in general? Because it looked the same to me.
I thought Aldama played really solid. I thought it
Very
was
much so.
one of his more solid all-around games. I thought he stayed really disciplined inside, and I think his defensive discipline is the biggest thing for him to really improve on and solidify his game. And I thought he had a really defensively disciplined night. Say that 10 times fast. But he did really well. Obviously, him knocking down shots is really nice. But the defense and the rebounding is the biggest thing for him to contribute to the team. You want to hit a few shots. So I was really happy with what I saw out of him. But that's it. I mean, that's the biggest bench performance. Like I said, everybody else was solid, but nothing stood out.
The biggest thing
Yeah.
I'm noticing with the bench is how much they're missing Bane.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
like when they were sending out the lineups where he was leading that second unit, you know, like those lineups were killing people. And I think they're just missing an additional facilitator on that side of the ball.
Yeah.
Or coming off the bench, I mean.
Well, they don't have a creator. That's the biggest thing. There's no
creator.
shot creation at all. Like, the only thing they have on the second unit is a bunch of guys that want to pass the ball and they want to hit the open shot. And by God, if Danny Green ever plays on this team, it's the worst thing we could do. So shout out Chris in the comments. Like, Danny Green is not going to play on this team. If he does, we're doing the wrong thing. I promise you. If we don't use his $10 million expiring contract, then that's the dumbest thing we ever did. We got rid of DeAnthony Melton, who can be an asset to this team with a good contract, to get a guy like David Roddy, who literally will be on another team in 4 years. Like, he's going to be okay. He's just a role player. We have role players on this team. We have Conchar, who's better than David Roddy. We have him. We don't need another one. We need guys that have better upside. I don't want to write him off just yet, but I just don't see it. I know that's been one of my things. He's fine. He's a good piece. He's a good 12th guy. He's not a top 10 rotation player right now. He might take him 2 years, but what he needs more is probably needs to go to the G League. He needs to go to the G League and go get some time and try to figure himself out and develop his game, because right now it's not it. And I love him as in general of what he can be, but he's not there yet.
I agree. He needs development. I think it's way too early to give up on him, because if I was to give up on David Roddy right now, I would have kicked Zaire out of the NBA last year with how disappointed I was and how he was playing. So It's way too early to toss him out, but yeah, he needs to develop. Laravia needs to develop. Listen, Laravia is not at a level where he can be a real contributor to this team yet.
He's
Just
playing
not.
better defense and shooting better, though.
He's playing a little bit of better defense. He played a little bit better tonight, but I told Daniel on the podcast the other day, I feel like I was taking freaking crazy pills with people saying they wanted to play Laravia after he's airballing threes and just getting toasted on defense left and right. So it's the same thing. That Roddy plays really good defense sometimes. Roddy has really good cuts and drives sometimes. It's just not there yet. You need people. This is not a team where we want guys who can contribute sometimes. You need reliable, honestly, vets to come in and be able to knock down shots and be, quote unquote, the other guys. And it's just not there. It's just not there. You know, I don't necessarily think that would be Melt or Kyle with the way that they need their vets to be on this team. So I'm not pissed they're not here. but somebody needs to be here. And right now, one of them or both of them would be better than what we have. So,
Yeah. So let me speak on that. So I said this comment at a birthday party before the Grizzlies games that I was at, for a kid birthday party. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
But I made the comment, we were talking Grizzlies, and I said the problem with shipping out DeAnthony Melton, not Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson, in a sense, yes, but realistically, DeAnthony Melton is a good player. He has a decent high upside game potential, but mainly he's a regular season player. He's the guy that gets you those wins and helps you get through the regular season when you have injuries, when you have issues, when you have foul trouble. He's the guy that gets you to the finish line to help you get to the playoffs, to be a really good team. The problem is when you get to the playoffs, he becomes just non-existent because he's smaller, and you go and you shrink the lineup, and he ends up getting left out unless he has a good matchup, which in the end, we had injuries, we had issues, we had a smaller lineup within the Golden State Warriors. That's why he played. But they're hoping for the high upside David Roddy can bring you that, hey, if we need him, we have a bigger body, a guy who has a little bit fleet of foot that can actually play in the playoffs as well. So they're trying to get a little bit of both, but I don't want to give up on him as well. Nate, that was the best comment you could have made, because I don't want to give up on him, because I would have gave up on Zaire as well. So I don't want to do that, but I'm just saying I haven't seen it. I need to see it. Give me a little bit more.
I think we're aligned on that. And Luke, sorry, I'll quit monopolizing this conversation here in a second. But we're talking about two different things. Like, we're talking about two different things. I don't want to throw David Roddy out. I think he can be a good player. Grizzlies are in a win-now situation.
That's the issue.
We're not in building mode. And so if you get these guys and they can develop, and by end of year, and far too early to say they can't improve those guys like they improved Zaire and they improved other guys. But
well, yes.
It's
but
not.
The problem is when
I
you're
still don't want rookies in the playoffs.
When you're trying to develop multiple people at the same time, that's the issue. Like, if you had John Conchar of
Like the Warriors,
who you knew that was a good player that you could count on, you didn't have to worry about it. If this was Conchar every night, this is a guy that obviously that's a little bit more. Okay, just a little bit less than what he did tonight. That was consistent. Then you can develop Roddy. You can develop Jake. But when you're trying to develop Aldama, you're trying to develop Roddy, you're trying to develop Jake, you're trying to make sure that Conchar can fit in. Like, it's tough. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Luke?
It's lots of tryings, and it's just you're throwing a lot of stuff and hoping something sticks, which
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too, but it makes it tough when it's like I heard Nate say, comparing us to the Warriors. I don't like the way the Warriors are handling their stuff right now. I don't like that, trying to walk both sides of the line. I mean, it's good for us that they're doing that, because that draft pick that we get from them is looking really tasty now. But, I don't like seeing them going for win now while also trying to develop these guys. I would much rather coach just find the one that, like, it's a small sample size. See who's doing the best, see who's shooting better and use them more. That's what I would rather do right now. I know that's so black and white.
No. I like that. So that goes to the point that Chris was saying. Like, do you think that Coach Jenkins is trying to force a little bit of Roddy down our throats to see if he eventually just sticks, like it actually comes through?
I do.
I think a little bit. I also think that they probably have seen something in practice that has not translated to a game yet. I think there's something that he has shown, because it's the same thing that happened with Zaire last year. I want to say I'm remembering this correctly. He was performing really well in practice, and it just wasn't happening in a game. It was just the moment was too big. It was speeding up. I imagine you get a little bit of the same thing from Roddy, and that's why he's getting all these minutes. And like I said, Jake just didn't seem quite right. I think that was a big part of that as well, why he was getting minutes over Jake. But I think there's probably a little bit of something that we just don't see behind the scenes as well. And I'm gonna go get my DoorDash. So I'll see you guys in a minute. I'll be back.
Hello, DoorDash is here. All right. So yeah, with that being said, let's keep hitting on those rookies real quick, and then we'll get into some Josh stuff. Looking at our rookies, Roddy had 15 minutes and Jake had 9. Sorry, 9. That's weird. Is that not?
I want to see Jake out there as much, man. Okay, so there's a line. I was looking at some lineups. The lineup that was coming off the bench of Bain, Tyus, Santi, Jake, and BC played 6 games together, minimum of 35 minutes. They're third in our lineups in with that minimum games played, minimum minutes, and net rating. I just think I know that's tough without Bain there, but I think the early part of the season is showing that Laravia just fits better with these guys.
Yeah.
I just think this. I just think the stats show that. I mean, even with the air balls that Nate was talking about, Jake shooting 41.9% from 3, averaging almost three threes a game.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason that they don't, rookies do not help in the playoffs. And just kind of looking at it, this is a team that we literally, we should not have rookies playing. And we probably won't come January if we can get people healthy, because you're looking at the 5 guys that should be starting. And then you have, Zaire, Aldama, Tyus, BC, and then you have Conchar. That's 10.
Yep.
The rookies aren't playing anymore. They would actually have time to develop. They wouldn't be playing right now. They'd be in the G League if we could stay healthy. But the problem is we can't stay healthy. Grizz fan 01 brought up this is because I think this is very much true. We're simultaneously in the win now mode, which we are, but we're also developing talent. And the reason is because this is a young team. We don't have the pressure yet. And I think that's the difference. We don't have the pressure because if we do good, if we finish in the top 6, that's okay. If we finish top 2, it's okay. Like we did last year. We just need to win a series. If we keep winning a series in the playoffs, we'll be fine. The issue is if you finish top 6 and then you lose that first series, that's when the expectations change and everything starts kind of coming that way. And obviously I love taking shots at the Golden State Warriors because they are old. So I had to make sure I just included that. So thank you. What you got, Nate? How was your DoorDash? Did they bring your food?
Sorry, I thought I was off of mute. Yeah, I agree. I got a Panda Express.
Hold on. Take whatever you got.
There we go. Is that better? Is that better?
It's perfect. Perfect.
Sorry, I just have such a commanding
So my
voice.
neighbor is 95, okay, and he's been asleep. You just woke him up from you talking.
I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I agree. You do have the ability to wait and be young and develop, but at some point you gotta decide the focus is winning, and maybe it's not it. Listen, it's year 4 of the rebuild since this is Ja's 4th year.
Yeah.
Sure, you can wait. But the timeline, at the end of the day, it's listen, Ja's a high-flying athlete. He just turned another ankle, right? And it's not like I'm sitting here saying Ja's injury-prone and he's going to get hurt, ruin his career. I'm not saying anything like that. But at some point, it's how long do you straddle the fence when you have the chance? And I don't think there's a ton of moves for them to make, right? I don't think there's a lot, like John Collins on the market. There's not a lot they can do to go get John Collins and not give up something that's important to them right now. Same thing with any other players. But I felt like this past offseason there were moves to be made. You could have tried to go get a Bogdanovich. You could have tried to go get a Kevin Huerter. There's moves that you could have tried to make and you didn't. And they're not all going to be hits. It's one of those things where it's just listen, you just leave. You leave a lot to chance when you have the ability to go win, and you don't go all in on it. In my opinion, you just never know what tomorrow's going to bring type of mentality. So, yeah, listen, and they've done a great job. I've been big on not questioning the front office for very much, but at the same time, I can't help but think. I always come back to the Otto Porter Jr. When the Grizzlies get to the playoffs, who's their Otto Porter Jr.? Feasibly Danny Green, but
no, if he plays on this team, we're not any better. We're not a better team.
Listen, I know that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the idea, is that Danny Green be that guy, but I don't think he's going to be. So who is it? I don't know.
I don't know. It's not your microphone. Your microphone sucks. All right, so let's keep it going. I'm gonna as many shots as I can give that mic. I will. I hope it never returns. All right, let's get into a little bit of Jaren Jackson Jr. Best game I've ever seen of him, and that probably says a lot. Luke, what did you see in Jaren tonight that was different than maybe you've ever seen? Because it was something I've never seen out of him.
I mean, the level we were talking about, the lack of assertiveness that we saw from Steve-O on attacking the glass. I think the assertiveness we saw from Jaren just going up after everything, man, like he was all over the place.
Right. So I stop you real quick. Brevin said something on the post-game show. He was saying that normally last year that you would have saw Jaren, somebody shoot the three because he's out of the three-point line, or maybe he made a pass to create an offense and a shot goes up. He would have stayed at the three-point line. Tonight, he actually went into the paint. And whatever happens, like if he's in there and he's able to get to the ball, he gets to the ball. Or he just helps like move people to maybe make something happen to where one of these scrappy guys can get the ball as well.
He's so big and so long. It's just like he just can control all the pieces out there. And when he's moving like he was tonight, he really is like they couldn't do anything. You know, they were missing Poku just because that was a big body they could throw his way. But somebody, yes, Chris. But like they didn't have an answer for him, man. When they took when Poku hurt his ankle, they were toast. Like Jaren, he did all that in what, 25 minutes?
Dude, Poku wasn't stopping that.
Well, but I mean, he was a mass. He was a massive human. Like he was a massive human that they could throw. You know, he was a massive flesh that they could throw at Jaren.
I don't like that. Don't say that again.
Here's a weird fleshlight that Poku is.
Dude, come on.
All right, so I just think that Jaren, he literally understood a little bit, like. And I the other day, like I completely crapped on him for the simple fact that it was an unintelligent game, and it probably was him being tired his first game back. It was probably a little bit of just, I don't know, just the jitters. But taking 7 3-pointers and not getting to the front of the rim, and I'm tired. I'm so tired of hearing. I'm tired right now, but I'm so tired of hearing that people want to criticize Taylor Jenkins for not having the scheme to throw the ball to Jaren in the post. No, that's not the scheme. Tonight, they did not throw the ball to Jaren in the post. What happened is Jaren was assertive, like you said, and he took the ball from short corner, from the key, into the lane, and he took it to the front of the rim because he knew he could take his guy one-on-one and get through them. Not every game is going to be against a smaller lineup like the Thunder, but when you have the ability, when you have the mismatch, when you have a mouse in the house, you got to put him in the hole. Like literally, you have to put it. And dude, he put anybody that was close to him, if his Inspector Gadget arms were able to jump and dunk, dude, it was done. Like his arms are just so long, forever.
Well, even against bigger defenders, that's what we want to see Jaren do. And that was something that I was completely wrong about whenever the last podcast we did. I think that maybe that was yesterday. Didn't take me long to be proven wrong. But I didn't think Jaren had likely developed enough to catch the ball up top and then work his way down without trying to take guys off the dribble, working his way down. And he totally did. I mean, I saw him get the ball quite a few times and then just start backing dudes down. That's a huge, huge thing for his game. And use that. You're so big. You're so long. There's like 3 guys in the league. You got AD, Porzingis, and then maybe like a Capella that can really contend with that. Other than that, you're still going to have those guys beat with athleticism and length. So get to it. I don't care how big the guys are down in there. Get to that. That's awesome. That was peak of powers, Jaren. I loved it. Did you know that was his career high in rebounds?
That's kind
what
of
do you have?
shocking to me.
I know he had a double-double. Do you have 11?
12.
12.
12? Yeah.
That's surprising to me. He's never done that before.
That doesn't surprise me one bit. Like, he doesn't go after the ball. He's never
never?
assertive. Never. He's never assertive. He doesn't look like he is the biggest guy on the floor. He doesn't. Tonight, he looked like the biggest, baddest dude.
So when you
I feel like most of his double doubles are just 10 boards. I feel like he gets the double doubles by getting that 10th board. I mean, like he and that was with 25 minutes. I mean, when he's playing over 30, he could get like if he's that assertive, and I don't know. I think that he's just. I want to see him get like 20 and 20. That's what I want.
All right, question real quick. I don't know if this counts tonight or not. I don't know if it matters. Jaren Jackson Jr., how many – yeah, I got the right answer now. How many double-doubles in Jaren Jackson's 5-year career has he had?
8.
Luke? I'm not Luke. Nate?
How many double doubles in his career? I will say 4.
Why are y'all so down on this dude? God,
I don't know.
Dog.
Can I try again?
Man,
He doesn't get
yeah,
rebounds.
a little bit better than that. It's not, I'm not
28.
saying. No.
28? There's zero
you went a little
chance.
crazy. You went a little crazy. Man.
Okay,
got
I'll go 13.
13 is the answer. 13 is the answer.
My 8 wasn't crazy.
It's just when I heard 4, I was just like, God, dog, like we're going the wrong direction, guys. It just goes to show that in his career, 13, and that includes tonight, for your big guy, for the guy who can be assertive. He could do that almost every game if he wanted to. 10 rebounds is not a lot, okay? I get it. It is the NBA. It is tough to do. But being assertive, showing a little bit of energy, that's the two biggest things that you have to actually go get the rebounds. That's what Steve-O didn't have tonight after that first quarter. That's why he didn't have 10 rebounds. It's not because he's not the biggest dude. It's not because he doesn't care. He just did not go after the rebounds. And, that's so what happens.
I think one reason one of the reasons Conchar got extended was because he goes after rebounds. You know, like he has that energy where he just goes. Like the ball, he flies to go attack the boards no matter where he's at.
Well, the biggest thing is to get back into the lane a little bit just to help. Because what happens if two guys go for the ball and the ball's tipped and you're there to grab it? If you stay where you are, then you're not ever going to be able to get a rebound. Never. And that's what the issue is if you're never going to get back into the paint to help, then you're never going to get a rebound. You're never going to be able to help. And so that's why I think Conchar's able to get. He is not boxing anybody out. He's just filling space. And if you look at it, like he doesn't turn around and go, all right, where's my guy? All right, let me put my booty on him. Like, that's not it. That's not the old school, like, boxing out. Like, he literally just turns around and goes, all right, I'm in a good spot. Steve-O's not around me, so we're good. Let me just jump up and grab this bad boy. That's the John Conchar neatness, like, right there. He just turns and burns. All right, anything else in this game that you saw? I do want to talk about Ja a little bit and kind of the future without him, because I know we're going to – I think we'll be without him for – unfortunately,
2 to 3 weeks.
I think it could be a little bit. I really do think that we could be through 2 holidays. If it's the second holiday, it would suck because that'd be Christmas Day.
You think they bring Bane back sooner if that's the case?
Depending on how it goes.
Yeah, Bane's out 3 weeks, I think. That toe, man, he can't do anything. There's no running. He's got to get the conditioning that the Grizzlies want you to get back into is the biggest thing. Is they want to see your conditioning. That's why Jaren was out for so long. If you look at his face, he looked a little bit, chubbier, and it kind of started slimming down a little bit. It might have been because he trimmed his beard too. Hell if I know, but he did look like he was getting back into shape, like conditioning wise, like a hard 2-3 weeks to get your body back to where you can actually get back into the flow of things and be in NBA basketball shape. That's totally different than being in whatever shape you think. So yeah, I think that our toughest stretch will come. We're going to get back 2 guys, our 2 best players. I don't know.
It's gonna be an adventure. That's the best way to put it.
Our guard depth scares me.
Yeah.
Kennedy Chandler is not ready for it. But they're going to need this version of Jaren. I mean, he's going to have to consistently put up performances like this with them out. It's just, otherwise, they just don't have the weapons. It's just going to be what's going to be.
Who starts?
Tyus.
Easy enough.
Tyus. Yeah, Tyus and Jitty will get the start. Tyus, Jitty, DB.
There's no one left to play.
I said that and I was like, what am I talking about?
It's like, wait, who we got?
The entire team's out.
Who fills the position? You think they go with Chandler?
What's the guard? Someone in the G League's been lighting it up that's not named Junior.
Dakota Matthias.
Bean?
Justin Bean.
Yeah, Bean.
Let's go. The mean bean shooting machine. That's right. Dude, if anybody else gets hurt, Junior's going to have to play point guard.
Yeah, because he doesn't play defense. Him and Draw are the same level of defender.
Such a freaking jerk. All right, let's get this wrapped up. I'm hungry.
Yep, same. I'm not hungry. I'm going to bed. Your other time. Weird time. All right, so let's go to the next game real quick. And thinking that was, if you by any chance want to get some Grizz 901 merch, we finally got it. We finally got it looking good. Finally put stamp of approval. It is not the 21st yet, so I do not have to pay for Nate's merch that I said that he would not get by. But as soon as Nate gets the next newest edition of merch, we'll be able to see it a little bit more, put it on camera a little bit. I don't have it yet. I have not ordered it. The new stuff, I have the old stuff that I rejected. Just going to be honest. I love our logo, and I love what Grizz is. I love 901. I love that. And we're going to make some slight tweaks, but the merch is looking good. The merch is officially done. And so if you want to go get some at grindcitydesigns.com/Grizz901. But also another thing, our sponsor, got to shout them out, Zach Jaworski State Farm. If you like to actually feel safe in life, if you're like, hey, I'm driving down the road. Oh, Mr. Copper, you just pulled me over for doing 13 over. That happened on my way back from New Orleans. Where's your insurance card? Yep, it's right here. Actually, I don't have it. Hey, State Farm, can you text that to me? Thanks, Zach. So Zach, his team, always good guys. First ticket I've had in probably 15 years. But Zach Jaworski State Farm, our presenting sponsor, good people. People I trust, and so you can trust them too. Go get your rate quote. You can call them at 901-459-4227. ZachInsuresMemphis.com. ZACH. ZachInsuresMemphis.com. Again, Zach Jaworski State Farm. 901-459-4227. All right. Let's get to one thing before we move on. If you don't mind, if you'll just entertain me for 2 seconds. The Grizz Lead Player Watch. We were going to give away $50 tonight, but unfortunately Steve-O could not get us to 10 rebounds. But we cashed again. We went 3-1. It was another good night. I believe our record now is 33-21. How about that, guys? 33-21, not bad.
Nice.
Nice. We've been doing pretty good lately, and so another good night out of us. And so it was a good time. If you're cashing with us, thank you. Keep hanging out, man, because we're doing pretty good. 36-21, 36-21, even better. We're up 15 units on the season so far. So if you're not cashing with us, unfortunately Nate cannot. So, but 36-21 on the season, good stuff. So check it out. About an hour or so before the game starts, we'll be releasing our Grizz Lead Player Watch. All right, thoughts on the game, and I know this is going to probably sound terrible and be very short, but we're going to give a little bit of our thoughts on the game. Let's go with Luke first. The Nets. Kyrie Irving's back. No Ja. There's no way we're going to have Ja. What do you think?
I'm going to be crazy and say we win.
Wow.
I think it'll be one of those games where a lot of guys I wouldn't be surprised if we have like 5 or 6 in double figures. I just think everybody's going to show up on Sunday, and I think we're going to have another game from Jaren like this. I'm choosing to believe that Jaren is going to, see this opportunity with Ja being down and realize what he needs to do to lead this team. We're going to lose some games with both those guys out, but I don't. I also think that the Nets is kind of a shit show. Pardon my language. So I think we can pull the dub off. I hope we can pull the dub off.
Swear jar.
Sorry.
This is the After Hours podcast. Yeah, there's no line on the game yet, so I'm curious what comes of that because, like I said, we obviously don't think Ja is in it. So, and then Kyrie's returning, so I would expect them to boost the Nets up big time. I think it's probably a 7 or 8 opening line, which is weird. I don't know why I even say that, but a 7 or 8 would be a big number. Nate, what you got on this game?
I think we'll get a big Jaren game. I think we'll get a solid Aldama game. I just don't think they're going to have the shots to keep up. I don't think they have the weapons to keep up. I think they lose. I think they will cover, but they'll lose.
Hey, you're really loud again, by the way.
All right, here we go. There we go.
Thank you. All right, so Black Lives Matter, our day one. Ja was walking on his ankle.
Yeah.
I don't see a T. Does that mean let's go? Sorry.
Yes, Daniel, it means let's go.
I'm joking.
I know.
I'm not that white. God.
Yeah,
I got no swag, but I got it. I grew up in Fraser, man. I'm good. I got Fraser. They had swag. I did not. But they taught me what it was. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So let's talk about. We can talk about Jitty. So in a game like this game that's coming up, and realistically, let's talk about the next week or so. Like, who steps up? Is it just Jaren? Because it can't be just Jaren. I have 2 people in mind that I think have to step up. One of them is Jaren. Who else steps up for you? Luke?
Tyus.
Yes.
I'm a big Tyus fan. I'm a really big Tyus fan, and I think he'll. I mean, he played better tonight. I think he's only going to get better. He knows his role really, really well with this team, and that's my pick.
Yep. Nathan, anybody else you got outside of Jaren?
I think, Tyus, hopefully, but to be contrarian, or just not to say the same thing Luke said, I'll go Aldama. I think Aldama has a solid game.
That's a good one. So what I like is with Tyus is you have now Steve-O. You have Steve-O helping with Tyus. And what does Tyus like to do? What does Ja like to do is get into the paint. So you're pretty much running the same style offense. The main thing that you're going to have to figure out is what can Kennedy Chandler do? And so I think he's going to show out. I think he's going to do well because he knows he has this limited time. And worst case, you playing 15 minutes a game. It's not that big a deal. I think Tyus can handle the load. Tyus is not going crazy up and down. He's a very much guy who's going to facilitate and pass. He isn't doing as much as Ja is. Ja's doing everything. You're going to have a high pick and roll with Steve-O. The floater will be back. You know what I'm hitting? 20 points next game from our guy, Tyus. He's going to have it. A 20-point game next game. He's going to put the floater in Kyrie's eye. And then that's going to be his 4th eye. I don't know. He's already got a 3rd eye. All right. Let's go around the horn. Let's get out of here. It's been a late night. But you know what? This was fun. How do you guys like it so far? Luke, let's go with you first. How do you like the post game? Is it much better than the other stuff that we've been doing?
I like it. It's different energy. I love feeding off the energy of the win. Like you said earlier, I don't know what it's going to feel like when we come off a loss. We might come in here and it'd be awful.
Yeah,
hellfire and brimstone.
Yeah. Also, just a normal game. Like I said, I thought that game was just weird. I didn't know how to feel about it. we won, Jaron did awesome, but Ja got hurt. There's a lot of mixed emotions. So after just a pure happy-go-lucky win, this will be a lot of fun too.
Well, I think with Ja's ankle, for one, they already said he's walking on it, which is a big thing. But the simple thing of it didn't turn and touch the floor, which was my thing.
Yeah.
If it doesn't touch the floor, then it is what it is, right? It's gonna be fine. It'll be sore. It's a high ankle, as long as it's not high ankle sprain. An ankle sprain, fine. Yeah. When it gets high, that's the issue, because then you're talking about at least a month. Because literally, no matter what you do, it's never going to heal. And at that point, you just got to say, "Hey, we're shutting you down for a month." It is what it is. Sorry.
And for what it's worth, the replay, like you said, didn't look that bad. And also, we thought Ja may have popped an MCL in the playoffs last year, and he hopped off the floor against the Timberwolves, and he came back in the third quarter. So, dude's just a freak. You never know. He could be. I mean, he could be fine Sunday. Yeah. He won't be. He won't play, but he might be trying to play. So I'm not super worried about it. It's just going to be a little bit rough until he's back.
Well, the biggest thing is, honestly, it's all about the swelling. If the swelling is down tonight, that's going to be the biggest thing. And, you don't want to have tendon issues. You don't want to have swelling. If he can somehow get away from those two things, then literally I wouldn't doubt Ja Morant effing plays. The only problem is he's got to fly. When you fly, that thing can balloon up. So that's the issue. If they were home for the next week, I think that he could play at some point. But when you're flying, you're up and down, I bet they leave him here, in all honesty, so he doesn't balloon up. Because I think they're coming back. They're going to go one away and then come back. So I think he stays. All right, let's go around the horn real quick. Luke, any final thoughts on tonight?
It's a game we needed to win, and I'm glad we won. I had the loss. I had a feeling we were going to lose against the Pelicans, but with the way the Thunder have been playing, this had me sweating just a tiny bit, and we showed up. And not only did we show up, but Jaron and Jitty and a bunch of other guys really showed out. So I'm a happy camper.
Cool. Ski bum, Nate.
Yeah, of the two games that were coming up, I said I thought this was the one that made me more nervous. So I thought it was a really solid win. I'm happy about it. We obviously Ja changes, being out will change a couple of things, but we'll see. They still have a chance to go 2-0. Listen, if you have guys make shots, if they can hit shots, they'll beat the Nets. I'm not sure they have the guys to make the shots, but you get Jitty shooting 5 for 7 and get Jaron playing like he did, they're going to win that game against the Nets too. So I'm excited to see what they do on Sunday.
Laravia. All right, so thinking back on the Thunder, dude, we match up so well against them. Like, we have the better guard. We have the better, bigger team. Dude, they're never going to be a good team against us. They are feisty and they play well. We are not a good matchup for them. Just being honest, just looking at it now, after seeing it on the court, they're not even close on our level in that factor. And so I'm happy that we are the better team. And that we finally, even though after these years they look better, they've gotten better, we still are just very dominant against them. And so that's what I was nice seeing. But going forward, I think it's going to be big for these guys to step up. I don't want to see a Jaron regression game. I want to see him still aggressive. I don't want to see him regress from being the kind of stay back-ish, kind of Jaron. He's the biggest guy on the floor. He's in his man body now. He looks like a freaking superhuman dude. Like, it's awesome. Like, seeing him in person the other day, I was just, good God. Like, he just looks so much bigger. And so it was cool to see. His shoulders are broad. He looks like he's kind of like then Kevin Garnett was the small guy, skinny frame, and he's turning into the broad shoulders, and then his body fills in, and then he's that size for the next 10 or 12 years. And so he's finally grown into his man body. So shout out to Jaron putting in the work as well. The three look good. The aggressiveness around the rim, actually, being a smart IQ player. I'll give him his flowers. It was good. All right, so that's all we got. Luke, Nate, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and thanks to the chat. Chris hung out with us the entire time. But our other friends that were in and out, thank you so much. If you're hearing this on the podcast, please join us the next game. I don't know our next game. I haven't really looked that far. This was literally figured out a day or two, the last couple of days, that we were going to go to the post games from now on. I think this is a lot of fun. My kiddos are sleeping, my wife's sleeping, so I think I have plenty of time to do this. But we're going to be more during the week on post games. But if it's a good game, if somehow, some way, Sunday is a great game, we will make sure we're here somehow, some way. We'll figure it out. But that's all we got, guys. You know what we always say: be nice and tell your friends.